All right, well, today is the day. We've been talking about it for more than a week now. Today, you can finally get your copy of the WBTV Family Recipes Cookbook. They are only available at Paper Skyscraper, which opens at 10 a.m., and Park Road Books, which is already open. They're $30 a piece, $25 of that going straight to charity, being split between The Bulb and Johnson & Wales University. And not only does it have recipes from the WBTV family, but some family recipes from amazing chefs all around Charlotte as well. In fact, if you open to page 22, you will find the Italian olive loaf recipe from Katie Van Slyke, who is at Angeline's and Merchant and Trade Uptown. Hey, Chef, how you doing?
Good, I'm doing good.
Thank you, first of all, for contributing that recipe for the cookbook. But what I loved even more, I mean, only because I haven't made the recipe yet, is the story that you shared with it. Your grandfather, it seems, is very influential in your pastry career.
Yes, he's the one that got me cooking from the beginning. He was, he's Italian, full-blown Italian.
Yep.
You can tell by the nose.
I get it. I got the Miranda nose, so I'm with you.
But he was always in the kitchen growing up, and he kind of inspired that love of cooking and my passion for it. And it kind of went from there, and when I decided to go pastry, he kind of jumped right on board, and there's photos of him icing sugar cookies with me and making pizza dough and things of that nature all the time. So he kind of just embraced that side of it, even though he was more of a savory chef in his own heart. But yeah, he's been a major impact on kind of where I've gone and what I've done.
I love that. The recipe that you're making today is not the recipe that's in the book, but this is also something that your family would make.
Yes, yes. So this is huge for us specifically on Christmas. So it's Pita Fritta, and it kind of just depends on where you're from in Italy, what it is.
Yes.
My grandfather was specifically kind of from the Calabrian area.
That's where my grandmother was from. Yeah. Oh, how
fun. So we do it kind of like a donut hole / kind of misshapen dough. But we would just use pizza dough. Sometimes he would make it. Sometimes we would go to our local friend who was at a pizzeria, and we'd buy it from him if we were a little bit pressed for time.
Yep.
And you kind of just sit there and you pull it apart and make these little misshapen donuts that you fry. And we would always get up super, super early in the morning on Christmas Day and fry them off. But then the best part was we would all split up and run around the town delivering it to all of our friends and family for them to enjoy as well.
How fun.
So it kind of brought all of that to fruition with family and food and the holidays, and made one of those traditions that you kind of like feel like you have to do.
Absolutely.
You can't stop ever doing it.
It smells so good. I remember my grandmother making something very similar as well, and she would just make it for treats or whatever, but sometimes on Christmas too. The dough that you've used, you've kindly given us the recipe, and if folks at home scan the QR code on the bottom of the screen, you'll be able to get that. The dough that you use is what kind of dough?
So it is a pizza dough. It doesn't have a lot of, I guess, structure to it. So you could make a flatbread out of it, but I wouldn't suggest it for something like that would have a lot of toppings, because it is a little bit lighter because we are frying it.
Yep.
But it has a little bit of honey in it, so it's a little bit of sweetness, but very simple. Bread flour, water, yeast, honey, a little bit of salt, and that's about it.
And did you have to let it rise or anything like that?
So what I normally do is I mix it, and then I put it in my fridge.
Okay.
And it can sit in there for about 72 hours, so you could make it well in advance. If you have a busy day or a busy week, you can get it done ahead. Yep. And then when you need it, you just pull it out, and you can start frying it right when it's cold.
What temperature did you fry it at?
I do 350.
Okay.
Now you can do it in a fryer like this. You can do it in an electric skillet. You could even do it on the stove with a frying pan. Okay. It just kind of varies on what you have available. Yep. And any thermometer would work. You don't have to buy one of the fancy ones.
And then my guess is when it's still warm, you want to get it in that powdered sugar.
Yeah, so we do powdered sugar. And all we normally do is just pop them in like a big bowl like this when they're still kind of hot. And then just sprinkle some on and kind of shake them around. You can do it in a Ziploc even if you wanted, if you didn't want to get messy.
So they're not too delicate?
No.
Okay,
no, because of the pizza dough, it has a little bit more structure than, say, like a cake donut would. So you can kind of be a little bit more rough with them, and it kind of gives it that kind of artisanal look too. Yeah. So it works out. But yeah, you can just kind of shake it up, and with your hand, you can do it with a bowl like this. Makes it a little fun for kids too. Yes. Kind of like get all that powdered sugar on, and then it sticks, and you have a nice little treat. We actually eat them all day. Yes. Like we'd eat them for breakfast, but then we'd put a bowl out at dinner time too, and eat it kind of like our bread, like table bread.
Because that's delicious. Are these too hot to grab?
Oh no, go right in.
All right, I'm going to go right in. I want you to tell everybody though, at Angeline's you guys are doing Thanksgiving. You're also doing some pies.
Yes. So No Kid Hungry is near and dear to my heart. I actually have been working with them since I was very young when it was Great American Bake Sale. So we are doing pie sales that we can pick up on the 22nd and the 23rd from Angeline's. There's 3 different types. We have pumpkin, we have pecan, and then we have a Dutch apple. Where we're going to donate $5 of that proceeds to the No Kid Hungry chapter of Charlotte.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's super awesome as well. And then we do have our dinner service in Angeline's on Thanksgiving Day from 2 to 8. So we have some cool specials, and you'll have your turkey and some local produce and things like that that'll kind of just bring you together if you don't have the time or the, maybe the people to go and make a whole dinner at your house.
First of all, I've been to Angeline's, so yummy. And then you do the pastries for merchant and trade upstairs, right?
Yes, so we do the pastries for Angeline's and the pastries for merchant and trade. We also have started a bread program this year, so we do all of our breads in-house. So our ciabattas, our brioche buns for upstairs. We do the focaccia for bread service when you come in. So all the fun little things you're not supposed to eat, but it's the holidays, so you can have much bread as you want.
Hey, these are amazing. Here's what you need to know before you go if you're going to go to Angeline's. It's on the ground level of the Kimpton Tryon Park Hotel in Uptown. You'll want to go in on the West 3rd Street entrance. They're open Monday through Friday from 11 until 2 p.m. for lunch. They reopen at 5 o'clock for dinner. There's even a late night menu if you can't get there until later, but just go ahead and plan to make reservations for that. Mary, I'm going to bring you one of these while it's still warm. All of the information right there on your screen for Angeline's. And for Katie as well, if you want to give her a follow, get your hand in there. Just get in there and take one of those delicious. They're so good. It's taking me back, Katie. And really, thank you for being a part of this cookbook. We know that $25 for every $30 cookbook sold is going to charity, and I know that means a lot to you.
Yes, of course.
So, Mary, what do you think?
I got caught.
I know. How good is that?
Oh my gosh, it is so. Now I see why you guys ate them all day long.
Yes, all day long.
How did you not eat 30 of these during one day?
Just don't tell anybody.
So
Don't
good.
tell anybody.
That's so good. Kristen, you were just talking about the cookbook. You can actually get your book signed by some of the WBTV family. There are 2 book signings. One this evening at Paper Skyscraper, the other tomorrow at Park Road Books, both of them from 5 until 7 p.m. Can these be featured at the book signing?
That is so good.
Right.
It tastes just like my grandma used to make.
I can't stop going in.
I ate the whole night.